Well, hello and welcome back to the audio version of the Tao Manifesting Tarot. For those just joining in, we're doing audio because my computer is starting to crap out on me, has been for the several weeks past, and I'm waiting for the Mercury retrograde to end, and at that point I will invest in a new computer. Mercury retrograde is not a good time to invest in something that you want around for a long while. If you're doing something, let's say picking up vitamins or something that you would use for the next 30 or 60 days, Mercury retrograde shouldn't make much of an effect. But if you're looking for a long-term kind of situation, it's best to wait after Mercury retrograde, no matter how tempting, and it is tempting to get a new computer ASAP, but we'll keep it at audio, which, by the way, is not altogether a bad thing. You walk away from the screen, all of a sudden, that video becomes an audio. And that's not a bad thing because you can be busy doing other things, taking care of kids, making lunch, doing whatever you want to do. I often will listen to videos while I'm busy doing other things. I'm sort of a person that likes to get a lot done, and so I'm a multitasker. Maybe you are too. If you are, the audio version you will find eminently wonderful. It will fit into your lifestyle and will still give you the same great information. And who knows, maybe it'll be a permanent fixture. I don't know. At this point, with Mercury retrograde, we're just going to take it a day at a time. So this is the audio version of the Tao Manifesting Tarot. Thank you for being here. I very, very much appreciate it, especially under the circumstances. Alrighty, so let's get to it. What do we have in front of us? Well, we got a pretty complete picture. You see the big oracle card in the back. That person sitting up on, what is that, rock? Looks pretty alone. She feels orphaned. You ever felt like that? Orphaned? I bet you have. We all have from time to time. Feel left out, alone, forgotten, isolated. Some of that's going on with you right now. Has maybe been going on for the past several years with this thing that we're dealing with. It seems to kind of want to separate people. But maybe it's gone on your whole life. You've always been the square peg in the round hole, just never quite fitting in. It's just become obvious over the last couple of years that you are feeling orphaned. For other people, maybe they were able to hide it, mask their orphanness, if there is such a word. But now, over the past couple of years, that has surfaced as well. So at this point, you are dealing on some level with feeling orphaned, forgotten, left behind. Okay? What that always implies is a lack of self-worth. Ultimately, I'm not worthy. So it doesn't matter if nobody pays attention to me, because they shouldn't pay attention to me anyway. Well, you're noticing that there is a little bit of a roughness in that, and you would like to change it, improve it, make it a whole lot better. So let's begin. We go far to what is left of the screen, Moon card. The moon, of course, is an illusion. It's bewilderment. It's deceiving yourself or having other people deceive you. You don't really get the full picture with the moon, but on the plus side, it's also very highly intuitive. Okay? And very often with a moon card, there's also an element of fear because we don't see everything clearly. And so at this point, you may be anticipating, because this may be your temperament, boy, if it can go wrong, it's going to go wrong with me. You're feeling kind of a tower moment in your life somehow. There may be a particular person, situation, whatever, that you're feeling an imminent collapse of some kind or some sort of confrontation. That may be overactive imagination on your part. And again, you're feeling orphaned, you're feeling separated. When you feel separated, you feel vulnerable. But there's something that you're sensing about some sort of an impending doom. Doesn't have to be a big deal, but some sort of impending doom. And I would not get too carried away with that. Remember, we're in a Mercury retrograde, so things get built up and blown up out of proportion. What you want to focus on is on the other side, the right side of the oracle card. That's the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is wholehearted, charming, dedicated, enthusiastic, and she has self-confidence. She is plugged in. That's where you want to go. You don't want to go to the left side of the screen with the moon and your fears and the tower moment. Yeah, there may be some little bump in the road, but probably that's all it is. But remember, you're feeling orphaned, so any bump feels like a cataclysm. Go to the Queen of Wands. Go with that energy, positivity, enthusiasm, self-confidence. And then just to the right of her, We got something even better. Six of Wands, it's victory. Success is just around the corner. So whenever you're feeling about some sort of particular problem or issue or something, don't blow it out of proportion. It's Mercury retrograde. It's probably a lot smaller than you think. And in any event, deal with it, not as an orphan, but deal with it as someone who is worthwhile, who is worthy, who has self-confidence. Make all the difference in the world. In fact, speaking of self-confidence, right, we go to the bottom side over to the left. What are we dealing with? The Nine of Pentacles lady, yeah. She's very, very well taken care of. She's stable, she's secure, she's self-reliant. She knows her self-worth. She doesn't feel orphaned. She knows. I mean, it doesn't have to be an ego thing, too. To understand your value in a wholesome way is a really good, positive thing, and that's what you need. That's what we're telling you at this point. You're feeling some pending doom, but take the Wands attitude, self-confidence. Take the Pentacles attitude, self-confidence, stability. And in fact, right next to the Queen of Pentacles, what do we have? Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords always means that's the end of this mental maze that you've been swimming through. The Ten of Swords says at this point that even though you may feel let down, maybe stabbed in the back, maybe it's you're blowing it again out of proportion. You're feeling orphaned. When you feel orphaned, you feel vulnerable. And the Ten of Swords says that part is over. It's done. In other tarot cards, you see a bright horizon coming. Maybe what you're doing is focusing on stop thinking negatively about yourself. Stop devaluing yourself. You're doing it to yourself, and that may make all the difference in the world. So let's move on. Skip the card. That is the vice versa card. We'll get to that at the end. But let's go to the Moon card. Again, Moon. Alrighty? What does this tell you? Same thing that we talked about. You're not seeing everything particularly clearly. It is a little bit tricky, and when you're not seeing things clearly, you're living under an illusion of one kind or another, positive or negative. In this case, since you're feeling orphaned, it's negative. It's going to go bad, it's going to go bad, it's going to go bad. Don't do that to yourself. Stay positive. Keep that Wands energy, self-confidence. Keep that Pentacles energy, where you know your self-worth. Really important. And in fact, we go from the Queen of Pentacles on one end to the Nine of Pentacles on the other end. The Nine of Pentacles is just a junior version of the Queen of Pentacles. She knows her value. She knows her worth. She doesn't feel orphaned. Doesn't mean that she belongs to every group in the world. Doesn't mean she has all the friends in the world. But she knows within herself her own value. That's very important. That is the greatest salve to feeling orphaned. Know you are valuable in and of yourself. Let's go to the middle card. This is the vice versa card going forward, by the way. So the world is moving forward. You have the opportunity here during the Mercury retrograde to review this idea of feeling orphaned, of feeling abandoned, feeling alone, isolated. All you have to do is focus your energy in a more positive way. Go to the Wands, enthusiasm, positivity, self-reliance. Go to the Pentacles, know your self-worth. And use that Moon energy as opposed to fooling yourself and creating monsters out of nothing or very little. And go with your intuition. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. You're moving ahead. The World card says you're moving ahead anyway. Take advantage of it. Use this Mercury retrograde, I think, for the next couple of weeks. And just work on your self-image. You are not orphaned unless you do it to yourself. And maybe you've been instructed or taught that way as a small child. That can all come to an end now. I hope it does. So that is the audio Tao manifestation reading for today. Back again tomorrow. Hope you're there with me. Between now and the next time, however, we get together, as always, peace and blessings.